Hi ladies, welcome back to another Modesty video where we walk, talk, and dress with intention. I'm your host, Modest K. Today ladies, we're talking about old modesty and how it was powerful and what we forgot about it. Let's get into it. Modesty does not erase femininity, it defines it. So one thing that we have forgotten about modesty from compared to then and now is that modesty refines being feminine. Walking in your feminine energy is modesty, and to be feminine is to be modest. So you kind of can't have one without the other. When it comes to feminine energy, modesty builds on it. Modesty helps. Modesty is feminine energy, but modesty helps build that energy. So for example, when we see a woman and she walks and she's dressed in modesty, it boosts that feminine energy she has, right? So for example, you can be dressed not so feminine, like you can be dressed really chill, right? And people really kind of wouldn't know how to respond to you, right? Because of the way that you are dressed, right? So if you were dressed very elegantly, very modest, right, people will respond to you elegantly, modest. And this is true. When I started taking my modesty journey very seriously, I got more of that than I did when I would wear, because listen, I love me some cut up jeans and a crop top when I was younger. But now that I'm older, I try to stay away from that because, I don't know, it's just not who I am anymore, right? We learn, right? So when I started dressing more intentionally and my age, right, I got more respect, not just from men, right? Yes, we love when our men respect us, right? But even from women, even from my elders, even from just people in general, right? They respected me because I showed up respectfully. History tells us modest women weren't overlooked. They were highly respected. So one thing that we forget is that women who dress modest, they were never overlooked. They were highly respected. And why we forget this nowadays is because most women dress for the male gaze. They dress for what they feel like a man will like, right? So one thing that we forget, men respect women more when they are dressed respectfully. And people respect women, or people respect people more when they are dressed with respect. And they were highly respected back then. Nowadays, yes, there's always been this battle between men and women and how we treat each other, who treats who like this and who treats who like that, right? But back then, men stepped up for women. And it's not just because, yes, they were raised very modestly, right? But because of the way they dressed it, the way that they carried themselves, men had to come correct. Men had to come with respect. Let's be honest, ladies. Whenever we dress more respectfully, right, we love ourselves like that. And when a man comes, or just when people come and they come to talk to us, or they come to have a conversation and things like that, we feel more respected. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I am well dressed and I still get compliments, I know I'm doing something right? I know I can correct. And that makes me feel good, right? It boosts me. It does. Because, not saying, first of all, do never ever depend on compliments. Okay? If you get your confidence from people, they can surely take it away. So always be confident within yourself. Women who dressed modestly, women who dressed with intention was highly respected. And even nowadays, women who do that, highly respected. Like I said in my last video, it's something about a woman that can dress modestly and dress with intention, it's like art, right? You look at her, she's like, first, it's like a blank canvas, right? She throw those clothes on, she put on those boots, she added with the purse, the earrings, the necklaces. That's art, baby. And she's covered. That's intentional. We love that, right? So one thing we have to remember, yes, back in the day, women, you know, women did wear big poofy dresses, and they did wear corsets consistently, and they did wear the thing that go under the dress. I don't know what it is. I'm probably a certain picture. If not, I think you guys get what I mean, right? But women wore those things, and yes, it was to be covered, and it was to limit visual access, right, to their body, but to still be elegant, right? Being covered was highly respected. Men knew they had to come correct. And I don't know about you, but having someone who knows that they can't just come to you with anything, because ladies, we don't accept anything anymore, right? And not saying like we have these high standards that can't nobody meet, but baby, we do got standards, and we add, right? And the reason why is because we love ourselves. We know our worth. And I always say, know your worth and add 1,000. 1,000 more worth to it, right? And it's because when you do that, you accept less. And accepting less is less drama. That's in my book. But women who were covered were highly respected because, again, they respected themselves. Feminine energy, which I love. Feminine energy is the best when it's with softness. Feminine energy is being soft, right? To be feminine is to walk in softness, y'all. Like, one thing, women, I'm speaking to all the ladies out there, your superpower, if you're wondering, do I have a superpower? Listen, I love Flash. I am anybody who, well, my brothers, my siblings know that I love Flash. And if I could have a superpower, it would be to run. Because I love to run, right? But women, I'm here to say, yes, you do have a superpower. And your superpower is your softness. The reason why people who aren't operating in the right energy want you to respond outside of your softness is because your softness, your silence, your patience, your endurance is your superpower. Do not ever let anyone take away your softness. That softness is what fuels your feminine energy. Let people think what they want. Let people operate how they're going to operate. And you just move how you are meant to move, right? So, feminine energy, to walk in your feminine energy, is to just be soft. Always, right? Because we don't never need to get out of character. For nobody. When you know who you are, there's no such thing as getting out of character. It's only one character. That's me, right? Modesty does not remove authority, it creates it. One thing that people forget, to be modest is to be creative, but also it's a foundation, right? So when you're soft, when you're being feminine, right? When you're modest, right? You need a foundation. And your foundation is your authority. And that authority is boundaries. Because you are so soft, right? You need that balance. You cannot just be soft. You cannot just be soft. You have to have that balance. And the reason why is because you don't want to be walked all over, right? There's no other way to say it. You do not want to be walked all over and misused. So that's why boundaries are important. And we know that our ancestors or people before us, they did not play about boundaries. And that is something that I love, right? I love that back then, people did not play about boundaries. Boundaries are so important, especially boundaries about the way that they carry themselves, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Whenever a man or a person have came to me incorrect, I've always checked myself. What am I giving off that makes someone feel like they can talk to me like that? Or what am I giving off that makes someone feel like that they can, be like that? What am I doing wrong, right? And that's why boundaries are super important. Your authority speaks volumes. And I'm here to say the boundaries that you create in your life save you a lot of headaches. I used to be afraid of authority in my life. I used to be afraid of boundaries, and it's because I was a people pleaser, right? Sometimes we forget that even to the ones that we love, we have to say no. And to be modest and to be feminine is knowing that it is okay to say no. You have to. And the reason why, peace. To be modest is to be peaceful. I'm gonna be honest, sis. Anyone who gets upset with you saying no because you don't want to operate out of your peace, the best thing to do is set some serious boundaries fast. And the reason why is because if you're telling them, hey, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Hey, what you say to me and how you treat me makes me feel very uncomfortable. It makes me feel very uneasy. If they literally say to you, I don't care, then they do not care about you. The thing I can say is that if anyone in my life told me, hey, what you said or what you did made me feel some type of way, or anything comes up, I will do anything in my power to make sure that I protect their peace. And you wanna know why? Because I love them. And that's love. That's a form of love, protecting someone's peace. Authority in our lives is super important, and we have to make sure that we set that foundation so that we are able to be soft and then walk in modesty. One thing that we know from our ancestors or from just history, modest women never had to chase attention. Attention was always attracted to her. And nowadays, because we're walking in a different type of time, women are not ashamed to say that they are chasing and need attention. And one thing I'm going to say is, whenever you're chasing after something, get out of your character to chase after something. It isn't for you. And doing that will destroy you inside and out. And the reason why I said that, from experience. Because yes, I have experienced stepping out of my true self to be someone else, and I hated myself. So anytime you feel like you need to step out of yourself to go do something or to chase after something, it's not for you. And anything you have to rush to get, it's definitely not for you. Something I had to learn, that anything I have to rush to do is not for me. And I don't have to rush to do anything, because things just come to me. It will come. And that is operating in faith. And that is walking with faith. And that is knowing my worth. Knowing that I never have to chase after anything. Knowing that I never have to run after anything anymore, right? Because sometimes we have to learn these things, and we have to give grace to ourselves. Sometimes we forget who we are. Sometimes we do. And it's because you love somebody so much that you forget who you are. Or you are in survival mode so much that you forget who you are, right? And that's okay. But I'm here to tell you, anything that is for you will come to you. You do not have to rush. You do not have to fight your way through it. You do not have to force things. They come. Now, faith without works is dead. Yes, you do have to put in some type of work. But if you have to change who you are, change your morals and your values, am I saying that right? If you have to change your morals and standards, it's not for you. One thing we do love is a woman who walks and things just come. And we love the fact that she never looks like that she is chasing something, because she walks slowly. She talks and moves with grace. She knows that if anything she wants, she already got it, because it's coming. If not today, then tomorrow, then the next day, then the next day, right? So you never, ever, ever have to step out of that beautiful aura that you create, that God has given you, right? True feminine authority is calm, unmeasured, and unrushed. It says, I know who I am, and I do not need to prove it. I do not need to rush. I do not need to move outside of my standards. And the reason why this is super important in our lives, right, is because we already talked about anything that we have to rush is not for us. Ooh, anything we have to rush is not for us, right? So anything you have to rush is not for you. But anything that doesn't measure up to your standards of how you feel for yourself and what you know you are, not for you as well. Most of the time I had to learn, if I have to question it more than once, it doesn't measure up. So ladies, I really hope that this helped. You guys, I really hope that this helped. I really hope that it comes off as not really, I really hope that it tells that modesty isn't about just covering yourself, right? It's about governing yourself with grace. It's about walking with grace, right? It's about standing on business with you, that we all learn this, and I hope you know this is something that we can master. We just have to align our focus. The way that we treat ourselves is the way that people would treat others. We have to just align our focus and try not to be like what everyone expects you to be like. Just be you, because the best version of you is you just being you, right? Be operating in your feminine energy, we have to make sure we have that authority and those boundaries. That's it for this video today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you are loved. God loves you, and I love you. Bye.
This day that God has given me, I'm not gonna waste this joy deep down inside me. I'm not gonna shake. Been stressed for so long, so stuck in my own way. So I'ma enjoy this moment. It's the day that the Lord has made. So grateful that I made it this far. Almost thought I had to call my mama in a cop car. Benny's everything for me and everything I need. I would be nothing if you didn't give me no reason to be. Cause I'm riding through the city, and I ain't worried about it. Come too far. See you with the top down.
out the mess. Drop it in the water, let the daughter fall.